Tim, is a no-deal situation now inevitable?
It's amazing. Boris Johnson was talking about Australian terms, WTO rules with the EU. You know, Australia has very restrictive trade with the EU. You could send all the cows from France around the world business class twice for the amounts of the agricultural subsidies that the EU gets, keeping out our farmers. So it's extraordinary that Britain's gone through all this pain to get Australian terms, which are not very good terms at all.
And where does a hard Brexit leave Australia?
Well, in some ways, you know, we've still got an amazing relationship with Britain in terms of the numbers of small business that go to the UK. There's a real, what we call a Kylie effect, where all the businesses go to the UK first before they expand across the channel. So the best thing for us basically is to have an agreement with the UK and another one with the EU. Whichever one we get first, we get. But I'm amazed that Britain's taken this step.
Yeah, it's certainly a bit like deja vu. It's still going. Here we are all these years later, still talking about it, Tim. Let's pivot now to China, looking at this trade war. China's trade aggression has today been dubbed as smart politics but dumb economics. Do you believe that that's the case?
It's terrible economics. It's going to do great pain to the Chinese people. China has got food security and energy security issues, and it's basically Australia's resources, minerals, farm products, education services that has helped China become the economic miracle that it's become. So they'd be doing incredible damage picking on Australia as they have been, and will be a terrible economic outcome for the Chinese people.
And how serious is it, especially when we look at big ticket items like iron ore, for example?
Well, you know, Australia supplies 61% of China's imports of iron ore. You know, you don't displace 2/3 of your stock overnight, particularly with long-term contracts. There's talk that China's giving Australia the cold shoulder, but again, very reliant on Australian coal, particularly metallurgic coal. And then there's natural gas, and that's even before you get into agriculture, education, professional services, and elements of manufacturing. So really, China would be doing a lot of damage to itself, having trade restrictions with Australia.
We know that China's currently not picking up the phone, answering calls, not really coming to the table on the matter at the moment. The former Resources Minister, Matt Canavan, he's calling for a retaliatory levy on iron ore to China. Do you think that would be a wise move?
Well, the British economist Joe Robertson said putting on tariffs or levies on your own exports is like putting rocks in your own harbour. So not only would it invite future retaliation from China, but also would be damaging to the Australian economy. So I'm glad the Resources Minister is not the Trade Minister.
And just finally, do you think that Australia now needs to look at diversifying away from China?
Well, I think we already are. I mean, if you think of hydrogen and LNG with South Korea and Japan, are very strong ties with India, with the ASEAN states, with Latin America and the Middle East. I think we are, but at the end of the day, you know, we do need China as a trading partner. China needs us, and ultimately it's better for world trade if there aren't these trade restrictions between China and Australia, or China and anyone else that they're putting trade restrictions, which seems to be half the world at the moment.
Well, it's interesting to see how this one is playing out. Tim Harcourt, we have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Danica. Thanks for having me.